Hey, what is up? Hey, Instagram, it's Tyler. So we're gonna try this again. Hello, everybody. It's Friday. It's the weekend. Hopefully, everybody had an amazing week. And I hope everybody has an amazing weekend, regardless if you have work this weekend, if you are staying in, if you have plans with friends and family. I just hope everybody has a great day, a great night, a great weekend. I'm going to give it just a minute. This is always the most awkward and challenging part to navigate. Instagram's like, hang on, we're telling more followers to join your video. Ty's Take today is live. So this is like the awkward part where you're like, you don't know what to say, but yeah. DXNN Flower. I'm trying to keep track of who's tuning in too. My co-host should be joining me. How's everybody's day going? If you guys are watching, let me know if you guys can hear me. Make sure you guys stick around for the show. We got some trending topics, some local news, and we're going to get you guys caught up on the Astroworld tragedy as well. We're going to start the show about like 6:10, so give everybody a chance to come in and check us out. We're gonna see if my co-host is available. And if anybody else wants to join live in the meantime or during the show, feel free to send us a request on these topics as well. Yes, it's Friday. Gotta get done on Friday. Hey, well-lit face. Looking good. Curls all over the place as usual. So yeah, happy Friday. Hopefully we can get Elisha on. Lord Jalen checking in. Where is my co-host? Oh my goodness. Elisha, where are you? Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna kick off the show at 6:10. That way we can stay on track. We got some entertainment topics to talk about, as well as some local headlines, and we'll get you all caught up on the Astroworld tragedy, and if anybody wants to share their thoughts on that tragedy, the floor is yours as well. You're more than welcome to join us. You're more than welcome to go live with us and share your thoughts. And yeah, so sit tight. We're going to give it to 6:10, and we'll be live momentarily. So thank you. All right. Anybody want to go live with us? All right. Yes. There she is. Oh, I accepted it. Hey. Hey. How are you? Yes. Sorry for the delay, you guys.
We are so sorry.
Elisha here. I feel like it's been.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said I can't believe it's already been a week since our first episode.
I know. I'm so excited to see where this journey takes us. I feel like we're making good progress. I feel like we're doing good. I like the communication like off camera. I'm so glad that we're staying in touch, and I love that you send me articles all the time, things that fascinate you.
You got a fan in the chat?
I do, yeah.
Hey,
Damien, he's cool people. He's super duper supportive.
Awesome.
He is super supportive. He's tuning in from Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we got we're all over the U.S.
Yeah, already.
There we go. There we go. Yes, keep that same energy.
So
Yes.
if you
Uh,
want to give a quick recap of what we discussed last week. Last week we talked about the children COVID shots being legalized and rolled out. They and I have information on that too. We could talk about at the end of the show on where, if people are interested in getting their children vaccinated. I know a couple places, local Detroit, that are already doing and administering the children vaccines.
Okay, yeah. So to get you guys caught up on last week, we talked, like Elisha said, about the CDC approving the vaccines for children. So we talked a little bit about that and what local schools in the areas, how they're going about requiring those vaccines. We also talked about Governor Whitmer. She has stopped the tax on feminine hygiene products. So you guys can get caught up on that as well. What else did we talk about? I felt like we talked about so much. But yeah, so for anybody that missed our premiere episode, that is available on Instagram TV, right here on Ties Take Today Official. We're going to be rolling out some new social media pages and such. So be sure to follow us on there. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you guys can still see me, let me know. I just want to make sure technology is not in our favor for some reason. So we'll get Elisha back on here. But thank you all so much for joining us on this late edition of Ties Take Today. But yeah, so our first ever episode was just last week. Like I said before, if you guys are just tuning in, I know we just had a little technical glitch. But I think we got Elisha back.
I'm here. I'm so sorry, you guys. I was like scrolling through the comments down at the bottom and accidentally like scrolled right off the live, and it cut me completely off. And I'm like, I was like getting ready to say, I have it right there in my chat where it says post. It says help me in the comments. I haven't posted it yet. It was right there though. See?
So you guys, you all can check out our first episode on Instagram TV. We talked a little bit about the children's vaccines for COVID. We talked about the stopping of the sales tax on feminine hygiene products. Oh, I feel like we talked about so much. I'm missing something.
We did, and we did a lot of improvising, I feel like. But you spoke about the LGBT community with voting rights. There was something with voting rights that you spoke about last week.
Yes. So now you can go to the Secretary of State offices here in Michigan. I don't want to give away the whole episode. So yes, there is a major accomplishment within the LGBTQ plus community when it comes to identification and identity. So if you guys want to get the full story, this is where we're going to throw you off to the first episode, which is on Instagram TV. So
we got to keep you guys coming back.
Yeah, we got to we can't just give it to you all the time. We got to tease it. All right, so we're right on track.
We are.
I just feel like it's crazy that a week has already went by, and it's bear with us through the technical difficulties. It's a learning experience. I always feel like my lighting is off, so I literally have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 lights going, so I think I got the lighting down.
Yeah, you definitely do. I'm having some charging issues, so I can't have my phone charging and my ring light on at the same time, unfortunately. Like last week, I was on it. I had the whole hookup. I had the microphone, the headphones. I was on it, and now I'm lacking.
All right, let's stay on track. Alicia's got us timed out to the T with the schedule. So trending, Will Smith. He's all over lately. He did an interview with Hoda from the Today Show. He's basically exploring a new identity. He's really opening up and getting personal about his very interesting, complicated relationship with Jada. I watched this interview that he did, and he really opened up about his childhood. He mentioned that at just 9 years old, he was there feeling helpless as he watched his father beat his mom, which really, as some of you guys know, I've shared a little bit about my story, not pertaining to physical abuse within like parental figures, but as far as more like intimate relationships go. And I think it really stuck out to me, you know, that he felt like he was, you know, he himself felt helpless, but at 9 years old, you know, there's only so much that you can do as a child. That really stuck out to me. And I know a lot of people are like, Will Smith and Jada, what's going on with their relationship? I just think there's a lot of layers, and I really think it's cool to see him open up with his fans, you know, and with people that follow him with his new book out, his new memoir. I'm excited to read that. What's your whole take on whatever you want to call they are married, so
yeah, sometimes I wonder if Will is actually the original husband in his marriage, or is he the entanglement? I wonder sometimes. I really feel like Will Smith is crying out for help. Like, all seriousness, all jokes aside, I feel like Will Smith is crying out for help. I've even seen TikTok videos of him talking about the memoir and talking about you know, the abuse that happened between his mother and father and how that impacted him as a child. He calls himself a coward quite often. And it bothers me in interviews and videos. It bothers me that he is so hard on himself. And I'm not sure if the added drama between him and Jada, even though he considers her still, after everything that they've been through, he considers her his best friend. They've been married for over 25 years now. And it's strange to me that they would wait 25 years into their marriage to give us a glimpse of what actually goes on. When years ago there was rumors that they had an open relationship, that they were swingers, and we've known that, we thought we knew this for quite some time. Well, then they said that the rumors were untrue, and then all these years later, we learned that maybe it was true after all, that they are, you know, swingers, or they have an open marriage, you know, a little bit different than what us normal folks would have at home, per se. But I think I think he's going through some things. I honestly think he's having a mental breakdown, and I'm not quite sure a lot of people realize what's going on right now. I think that Will is being Will Smith and is trying to give us, like he always has, the best version of himself while he is inside crumbling. I can feel it. I mean, I believe in a way he's also still dealing with the grief and the loss of Uncle Phil. I don't think that he's gotten over that yet. And I just think that Jada could be a key role that pushes him over the edge. I'm really worried about Will Smith at this time. I would love to see some feedback down in the comments to see if anybody agrees, or if they think that Will and Jada just have a regular, normal, day-to-day relationship like we all do. Or did you find your phone? I'm sorry. 1 second. Okay. It might be at your house. All right. I'm sorry. But I certainly think that Will wants us to think that he's handling that situation a lot better than what he is. I don't think he's handling it as good as he thinks that he is. I don't like to see him call himself a coward, though, because he can't put that responsibility on himself. Who, even if he did try to fight back at 9 years old, what could he have done? You know what I'm saying? I think that he puts too much pressure on himself with that situation. And if I didn't know any better, it really sounds like, instead of dealing with trauma, he shuts it away and doesn't open it back up for years to come. And by that point, it's like, how do you deal with 10 or 20-year-old trauma? So I don't even know what to say about his marriage, because these are things we speculated years ago that they didn't want to talk about. They said it wasn't happening. They said it wasn't true. But then as details rolled out, the red table talk, Jada became, she became her own platform and her own voice. We heard things from her side of the story. The first incident was with August Alsina. And from my understanding and gathering of information, there was a consensuality between August and Will Smith. Will Smith knew about August. Did you see that Jada's mad that Will Smith takes trips with his ex-wife?
No, I didn't see that. What?
Yeah, they take vacation trips together sometime, and they don't take Jada, and I guess that irritates her. But it's like, come on, you've got entanglements, boo.
I I think you made a good point earlier. I think that it just is, it's a constant reminder of, you might see somebody that's, happy go lucky, but you never know what they really truly may be battling deep down. So I think it's always important to try to be mindful and cognizant of that. And like, what about the kids though? What about Willow? What about Jaden?
Jaden.
You know,
Well,
like,
I would say obviously there's, I wouldn't necessarily say issues, but they have definitely picked up on whatever problems are in their mom and dad's marriage and in their life. Jaden Smith had, I don't know if he still does, but for a while he had contracts with Louis Vuitton where he was a model for them, and he modeled in dresses, skirts, more feminine. He explored his more feminine side a few years ago. So, I mean, I believe that the impact of them watching their mom and maybe their dad explore options with other people in their marriage, I think that has definitely rubbed off on the children.
speaking of children, one of your kids just had a birthday. Not was it
Yesterday? Yes, Dontrial. He just turned 6 years old. My oldest son just turned 6 yesterday. That is so fun. Here, give me 1 second off camera.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just interested to see what all of your thoughts are. If anybody that is watching live wants to go ahead and jump on the live with us by sharing your thoughts. Shout outs to Sip and See. She said, I have to go. I can't. I'll catch the next live. Getting ready to go to an event. Bye, guys. So shout outs to Sip and See checking in as well. Always supporting us and here on the show. So shout outs to her. And yeah, are on back. Be sure to drop them down, or you all can live post, follow Instagram, us on YouTube. But definitely be sure to check us out. Instagram. We'll have some social media strictly for the show rolling out soon. We got a logo coming up. Where the logo's in progress. All right, y'all. The logo is in progress.
The funny thing about it is, even before me and Tyler made our debut official, we're working together. We've actually been working on this label for most of the year, since April.
It's been a long time. So yeah, I guess just real quick, my closing thoughts. I really hope that, Will and Jada do what's best for them and for their family, for their children. And then another thing that he had pointed out really quickly, because we got like a minute left. He had mentioned that his father was both things. His father wasn't just an ogre. His father wasn't this mean, nasty person. Which I felt he kind of like, I get what you're trying to say. You don't want to bash him, and I believe he's no longer here. But he waited to release his memoir until the passing of his father before he released it. Best friends. I don't know. Best friends. And I don't know.
They're best friends with benefits.
I don't know.
Apparently.
He said, we have given each other trust and freedom with the belief that everybody has to find their own way. Marriage for us can't be a prison, and I don't suggest our road to anybody. However, the experiences that the freedoms that we've given one another and the unconditional support, to me, is the highest definition of love. That quote right there, we're going to segue into our question that we want to pose the audience. What defines somebody as a best friend? I feel like people say, oh, my best friend so-and-so, my best friend this, my best friend that. But really, what qualities, or how do you define the term best friend? So if you guys want to drop your comments in the live, you guys can comment on the video later. Let us know. But yeah.
Definitely. Such a good question. I think everybody should take some time to definitely reflect on what makes a best friend, and maybe that will open up the airways, the energy waves. When you can define something, it makes it easier to relate to it. You know, it's hard to search for a best friend if you don't know what one is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then now we're gonna go ahead and turn things up a little bit over to some local headlines. Alicia and I was finalizing some prep today, and the story is still developing. It's coming out of Bloomfield High School. They are currently investigating the defacing of one of their restrooms. This hate speech was written on one of the walls. So students at Bloomfield High School, they did a walkout earlier this afternoon, protesting, chanting, poster boards, signs. You know, basically a massive walkout. And from there, you know, watching many students on air, that's checking in. Hey, yes. So to recap this story, Bloomfield High School defacing in one of their bathrooms.
Go downstairs, sweetheart.
They had walkout protest organization to voice their concerns and their frustrations. People of color, Black students at Bloomfield High School feels like the situation isn't the administration, isn't taking things seriously. You know, students mentioned multiple different incidences from dolls being hung up in the hallway, to students posting things on social media, just really, and the students they're fed up. They're getting this cookie cutter. The administration, the school district is setting out this copy and paste, if you would, that, oh, we stand by our students, we support all students in all races. Like, especially now, that's not gonna cut it. And students also told Local 4 that there's also been reports of anti-LGBTQ plus hate speech in comments. So we're told that Bloomfield Township Police are still currently investigating. Alicia, you were watching the video, and as a mother, like, I'm interested to see what your point of view is. I know I say that all the time, but watching these students protest and voice their frustrations and their feelings really had me tearing up watching it earlier today, because as instructors, as
Can you hear my child?
Slightly.
All right, he's up there fighting over toys, and he wants me to come do something about it. I'm gonna weigh in really quickly, and hopefully he just, because I don't want to keep walking away from the camera. As a parent, it was sickening to see the comments. That told me everything that I needed to know on that whole incident. Almost every single adult in that live, in them comments, were negative, hateful, racist people. It was very, very, very hard to watch. I feel like what the students were doing was absolutely revolutionary. I love to see children and kids, teenagers, young adults using their voice, using their platforms, using the resources around them to make a difference. That was absolutely astonishing to me. And they did exactly as they should. And they should do that not just when there's hate speech, but also, like you said, to stick up for your LGBT, to stick up for the quiet kid, the kids that don't have as much money. You know, there's so many other incidences that we need to see these walkouts on. It makes us stronger as a community. It makes us stronger as a whole in this country when we can respect our young students enough to watch them make choices. I trust these kids. These kids are our future. So when they're fed up and they're saying, hey, we have taken it to the school board, we have taken it to the principal, we've taken it to our teachers, they're not doing anything about it. We no longer will participate in the learning and education of this school and this structure unless you guys do something about it. It is sad and it is bad when the kids cry out for help. And all you can see is the comments is, oh, it's a hoax, just like it was last time. Or they should, I would take my kid behind the barn and whoop my kid's butt if they're just trying to skip school. They're just trying to play hooky. Oh, they're trying to stay off camera so that their moms don't see them skipping school. I absolutely thought that was ridiculous. I could not believe the things that I was seeing in that thread, on that live, in those comments. I was absolutely sickened as a parent, because imagine if that was your child going to that school. How do you even defend a child that nobody thinks that anybody is doing anything? So it was really hard for me to actually watch that. It was a bittersweet moment. I absolutely enjoyed what the children are doing, and I hope that more schools can catch on. I hope that more students find their voice to rise up when they are presented with social challenges like that. I really hope that we see more and more of that. And I hope that over time we can see less and less of those parents in the comments section that are not supportive of their own children. That really bothered me. How can we grow as a community if we don't even have the support from our parents?
Absolutely, absolutely. So shout outs to the students there at Bloomfield High School. And I encourage you, continue to, if you're a student out here, if you know, go to your student council meetings, even on the local level, go, connect with your city council, connect with your governor, connect with the mayor, do something. If there's something that you feel strongly about, then advocate for it. Call up your representatives and be like, hey, yo, it's just, to me, it's such a shock that so many people have so many things to say, but I think they're scared, they're nervous, they feel like their voice doesn't matter. Hey, you look at the low polling turnout at
Yes.
it comes back to, voicing be that loud voice, be that one person that stands up for the person that nobody else is, because
exactly,
that's to me, that to me is what truly matters. And I hope that the administration actually takes a more serious approach to this, especially and stop feeding these kids cookie cutter bullshit.
That part.
These aren't babies, and even then, like, what's right, and in these situations, better. And that this today, or this recent incident that they're currently investigating, it was only one of the incidences that have been occurring. So it's a trend, and something needs to be done. Whether they need a new principal, they need a new school district, something needs to change. And
I hope that none of those parents that were negative in the comments, I hope none of them are like on the PTA or school board, because I would be scared to send my kids there.
I want, on that note, I want Elisha to dive us into the next topic in regards to some lawsuits and COVID, because I want to make sure that we cover everything. We always have so much to talk about with you all that it's like we have to dissect and pick what we want to talk about and what we have time to talk about. But I really want to know what people's thoughts are on racism in schools, and how you feel, if you've ever, been a victim of racism growing up in high school, middle school, elementary school. Please feel free to share your thoughts with us. You're more than welcome to drop a comment in the live. You can comment on this video later on Instagram TV. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Share your thoughts. Engage with us. We want to hear your opinions. That being said, I think we're going to go dive into our next topic. Theo's checking in. Vontae, I am Rebel Will official. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hopefully everybody is having a great Friday. Thank you all so much for joining us.
I'm sorry.
I am Rebel Will official. I'm just interested to see what people say. But now that Elisha is back, Elisha has our next topic in regards to COVID.
Yes, over 3,000 COVID-19 vaccine lawsuits have been rolled out. Now, according to the FDA and other sources, those lawsuits will likely fall on deaf ears, which is completely sad, because imagine a country telling you that you need to get a shot to keep your job, and you get the shot to keep your job, and then you get really sick from the shot, and you can't hold anybody accountable. That's sickening. So I've been doing a little bit of research on that. You need to stop. You driving me crazy. It's just sad to see that we don't have the coverage we need as a country. They can tell us what, when, how, why, and how much. But when we try to fight back and use our rights, we don't get anywhere. We get stonewalled. It's absolutely asinine that over 3,000 people have already made lawsuits about a vaccine that they told us we needed, young and old. And these people are being denied left and right. Pfizer and Moderna, I think I'm pronouncing that right, are the two main companies that are off bail saying, don't bother suing us. You ain't got no case. And that's sad. Because I know with the Johnson & Johnson shots, for sure, people were getting blood clots really bad. I am so curious to see how this vaccine is going to work out for these children 5 to 11. And then next year, children 6 months to 10 will be able to get vaccinated. Can you imagine saying that next year? Like, will we really have to keep getting vaccinated next year?
I'm gonna sip my little drink real quick.
I do not blame you.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how that turns out as well. If anybody in the live wants to jump in with us later on at the end of the show, we'll take your guys' feedback on any of these topics that we've discussed today or last week, or even if you just want to share your thoughts, or just get on the live and talk to us. We'll open the floor at the end of the show. Real quick, not a non-paid endorsement, but Witch's Brew, yes.
Nice.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jess. I love you. Much love.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining.
You guys can catch Jess on the radio in Georgia.
Nice.
She's everything. So we would love you. Thank you for the support. But yes, Witch's Brew. It is a red wine with spice. Ooh. And I also like pour it on top of the stove and like heat it up, and it's supposed to be good as well.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all wanna hook us up with some free Witch's Brew. Elisha and I would love to enjoy.
Please give us a reason to do a taste testing segment, please.
So yeah, I'm interested to see where how that goes. And Elisha, I have a question for you. So I read this article basically saying that it's people are being victims of like a fake landlord scam here.
Wow.
So this statistic is crazy to me. As many as 1 in 10 tenants facing eviction in Detroit says that they've been duped by con artists who sold or rented them a house that the person didn't even own to even sell or rent to somebody. And to me, that's crazy. Can you imagine? They had mentioned this lady, Miss Walker. She had transformed an entire house on Detroit's east side back in 2019. I'm talking about no furnace, no water heater, no plumbing. She put in her hard-earned money to fix this house up, was paying her monthly rent to this supposed like manager or like renter. And turns out, come to find out, 2 months later, she got an eviction letter that basically crushed her hopes and dreams and was like, this ain't your house, you can't live here.
Oh, that is dehumanizing by far. I don't even know what I would say. Like people become more and more clever. People find ways to scam that I wouldn't even never think of that, because it's like your home is supposed to be your place of protection and security. What do you do if you just come home one day and the police are at your door, or you're being served notices to leave the property and premises, otherwise you could face felonious charges? That's a scary situation. I feel like I feel like piggybacks off of some of the things that we were talking about last week, talking about Mike Duggins, and those home loans, those loans. And I just feel like if he got rid of some of the houses that are just taking up space out here, a lot less of that would happen. Houses that have been abandoned, because I believe that you can also run that scam with houses that have been abandoned. Because I know, as me, somebody who is a renter, I don't go and check every single house to see if it's like what the history on the house is. Is it abandoned? Is it deemed, what do they call it when you deem it when you can't live in a house anymore? What is that called?
I know what you're talking about.
Yes. Okay. As long as you know we're on the same page. Yeah. So I don't go and check the history on a lot of these houses. I'm a renter. I've been renting in Detroit for over 3 years now. I don't go to check the history. So that's scary to me. That's a step that I should now take when considering if I want to rent a certain house or not. Should I go back and check the history and even see, is this a rentable house? So that's crazy to me in itself. I can't even imagine taking the time to go down the Detroit land bank and see, oh, this house hasn't been rented out in 10 years. This house hasn't been rented out in the last 3 years. This house has been sold and bought in the last 5 years. Like that's the extent of what these people have to be going through. And because you can't tell me that you would just go to a random house and rent it out. Like you would have to do so much research on that property alone just to see who's coming to check on it often, who's doing the maintenance on it, who owns this property. So these people are smart. These people are smart. You have to think they're getting key duplications. And I think a lot of this responsibility too should also fall on DTE. How are you turning power on and electricity on and houses that aren't rentable or aren't, so I think that there's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up. And the tenant, unfortunately, even though it's coming down on her, she should not be the one that is facing the repercussions of this.
After investing so much money, time, and energy into fixing up a place, it just baffles me to think that people are so like ill, like just why? And like, especially to like an older woman or to like a mother with children, like a single parent mom, and like just to anybody in general, like somebody that puts in so much time, money, and just wants to have a place to call their own, and then you're hit with an eviction because the house isn't even yours. And this is just the
if you're gonna sit in here, you have to be quiet.
So, real quick, Cujo Speaks checking in. He said we should all get together and try to purchase those lots. They can be beautiful and turned into little parks or gardens. Absolutely. I think that's a really key idea in concept, and I would love to be a part of something like that. Let's make it happen. Elisha, me. Speaking of Cujo actually, he is on he's on 93.97 Network, which is a radio station. He's a part of the Good Time Show with Princess on Air. So be sure to check them out. Elisha and I have some exciting news, but we're going to hold off on that. Like, I want to tell you all so bad. But if you guys are a local station that's really opinionated, really involved within the community, be sure to check them out. It's called The Good Time Show with Princess on Air and Cujo Speaks. You guys can give them a Instagram as well at 93.97 Network. And then stay tuned for an announcement in January, Elisha.
It's coming up very quick. I just want to piggyback off of you and Cujo's comment, and then I'm gonna read Angeli's.
Angel.
I'm gonna read Angel's comment. I'm sorry. So yeah, I think that the community could definitely be more involved as a whole. Watching out for the kids. There's so many missing kids, missing women that turn up, unfortunately, with fatalities every year. So I just, as in a whole, not just with the lots, but with a whole as a community, I think that we should have each other's back a lot more than what we do. But those parks and gardens could be very beneficial to protect and educate our own children. I'm going to read Angela's. Angel, I mean, I think I said the wrong name 3 times.
It says
Angel, okay. Angel's comment says, I feel anytime you rent and or buy a property, you should always do your research. DTE and Consumers Energy should have a higher security before someone is able to get the lights or gas turned on. As far as she's saying, like, you should produce a deed for DTE before they are able to turn your utilities on. And I couldn't agree more with that. I do agree with the research. It should be something that is, I would say, we should be not that we should be told that we have to do research on something, but just if that information was out there, like where to do the research. Not everybody would necessarily know where to go to look for the history of a property. A lot of people have never stepped foot, you know, in a courthouse building to where you could find certain records, or have never went online. I was actually fortunate enough to meet a very good friend of mine who is able to look up, like he can go to the library or go to a certain courthouse and look up documents that has an entire panel of the entire city. Like it's sectioned off all cities, all towns, and things of that such. You're about to get out of here.
Got a little co-host in the making over here.
Yes, for sure. He's ready to report what's going on. And so like there's like sectors of the town, and it's all mapped off and it's all sectioned off, and you can actually find the history of your whole town, like the whole structuring. Like, you know, if there's a certain church that's right there, you can go back 30 years ago and see what used to be right there, or if there was anything right there. Yeah, it's I was able to see it, the blueprint of it was Jackson County though, Jackson, Michigan. I was able to see the whole blueprint and structuring and sectioned off of how that city was made. It's absolutely amazing. Angie is also saying Land Bank in Detroit are where those scammers are generally coming from, and it should be more demonstrated and educated. It definitely should be. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry.
Absolutely. Researching anything you do best, I should say, be a part. Yeah, I agree so much with you, Angel. Angel around at the end of the show. But yeah, I think it's important to research. I think dug in and the whole Detroit Land Bank, and there've been some controversy. I'm gonna leave you all with a statement from the lovely Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, because why not? We're the facts. According to the Wayne County, they said that they could not recall any recent against people who have been caught collecting rent from tenants in homes that they didn't own. Horses mouth. Shout out to the county. Sometimes doing their job, but not often. And I think it's also important to point out that, you know, there with the COVID-19 pandemic, housing advocates are currently saying that they need to address the problem more than ever now, because the end of the federal eviction moratorium, which will mean that tens of thousands of Detroiters are at risk of losing their housing in the coming months. Yes. And thank you so much, Angel, for chiming in with us. As always, we appreciate you for voicing your opinion here on the platform. And we're going to, really quickly, I just wanted to mention that Detroit's Learn to Earn program is offering a 20 hours a week course dedicated to those that are in need of obtaining their GED or high school diploma, all while getting paid up to $200 per week. This course is 20 hours per week. The program typically takes about 4 to 8 months to complete. And basically, the intent is to replace a second job with some funding coming in, so that people out there that may have went through some hardships, they can go back to school. That course is only 20 hours per week. And this is to help adults out there that may have not graduated high school. They may not have their high school diploma. They may not have their GED. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, if you are out there and you want to get your education, be sure to check it out. You guys can find out more information about the program. It's called Detroit's Learn to Earn program. It's a 20 hours per week course. And they also will pay you up to $200 per week. Just to give you a little bit of money while you're going back to school to kind of get your life back on track. Life is expensive. Starbucks damn near costs $10 for a drink, but I'll pay it. But just reiterate the fact that there are these programs out there. It's called the Learn to Earn program, and they also will assist you with finding new career opportunities once you do get your GED or high school diploma. That being said, you guys can find out more information at DetroitAtWork.com.
That's right, beautiful. Elisha. I actually, believe it or not, I had to do a program that was very similar to that in Albion, Michigan. I went and got my GED. And the program actually, every test that you passed for your GED, they gave you some money for it. They gave you a cash reward. So who knew that they would pay you to go back to school? Who knew that that would ever be an option?
All right, so you guys have, everybody's been following this story. At this time of the show, I do want to send out our condolences, our thoughts, our prayers, our good vibes, our well wishes to all of the families, all of the people that attended the Astroworld Festival in Houston. Elisha and I have been monitoring this story all week ever since it broke. My thoughts and condolences to each one of those lives that were lost. I wanted to mention everybody by name, so my apologies if I butchered the names a little bit. But those lives lost, 9 people between the ages of 14 to 27 are confirmed dead, 300 plus injured, 11 of those being cardiac arrest. Those names of those that have passed away are Franco Patino, John Hilgert, Brianna Rodriguez, Rudy Pena, Madison Dubisky, Danish Baig, Jacob E. Juriek, Axel Acosta, and Bharti Shahani. So I just want to make it clear to everybody that our thoughts and prayers, condolences, well wishes to those families. And at this time, I ask those that are watching the live now with Elisha and I, or if you guys are going to watch this later on, to take 9 minutes, or 9 seconds rather, for 9 moments of silence.
It was actually quite eerie. I had felt something. I definitely had a moment there. It got really quiet between the two of us. I was surprised, actually. It's very, very sickening to me. Sad, unfortunate, all of the above, because I just feel like there was too much going on. Too many people with too much money in their hands knew what could and would happen that night, and they did nothing. It is sad to me. I know that you had sent me an article between the security staff on how they were to handle certain situations that could happen at the event. I'm in disbelief. I'm in shock. Travis Scott is offering to pay for the 9 people that passed away. He's offering to pay for the funerals. I believe he has refunded everybody's ticket money back. I'm not sure if everybody was compensated, or if, some people's banks are different and you have to wait to get money or whatever. So I'm not sure if everybody has received their ticket money back or not. Drake has made a public apology on his platform. Other artists are apologizing and are also feeling sad and bad. Travis Scott and Kylie actually have been called out quite a few times for their insincerity. How do you feel about that?
I'm glad that you directed this conversation that way. Like to me, it just baffles reading those articles and just seeing the videos. Shout outs, especially. I really want to shout out to the 2 individuals that jumped on top of the I guess elevated stage.
Oh yes.
Because their names haven't been mentioned, unfortunately. But if you guys are out there, or if you guys are watching this, or somebody knows them, definitely shout outs to them, because they took matters into their own hands, and I could only imagine. I would agree. I think that at some point, as the artist, as Travis Scott's team, you have to take accountability. Live Nation, Drake's statement was, although it took him a minute because he's a real person who has real feelings and he's processing this like everybody that was there or impacted or even watching the coverage. But his statement, I want to read part of it at least. He said, "I've spent the past few days trying to wrap my mind around this devastating tragedy. I hate resorting to this platform to express an emotion as delicate as grief, but this is where I find myself. My heart is broken for the families and friends of those who lost their lives, and for anyone who is suffering. I will continue to pray for all of them and will be of service in any way I can. May God be with you all." I think that statement That's sincere, Elisha. That's sincere. Y'all can talk about whatever you want when it comes to Drake, but given this tragedy, I just want to acknowledge that his statement was real. Travis Scott, I said this to my guy. I told him, I said, we watched it. I said, he just looks like he just got out of the bathroom after smoking a blunt. Which is fine. You smoke marijuana, do you? But the sincerity, it lacked sincerity, it lacked emotion. And yes, he is going to pay for the funerals. Everybody is going to be reimbursed. But these are 9 lives, 300 plus that were injured, 9 that are no longer here.
A 9-year-old child is in a coma.
They're not going back to their families. No. They don't get to see another day. They don't get to graduate, and they don't get to go and live their dreams. That's a problem.
And you said the youngest of those fatalities was 14?
Yeah.
That's a tragedy. I know there was a 14-year-old boy, and I believe that the young lady that passed away was 16 years old. She was only 16-year-old. I actually have footage of her. I will send it to you in a little while after we get off this live. I have video footage of security dropping that girl on her head before she passed away. On a stretcher. She was on a stretcher, and they dropped the stretcher, and she was on it, and she hit her head. So if that was part of the reason why she passed away, I believe that those security guards should also... Excuse me. I believe that they should also be held accountable. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry.
Definitely. And so just to point out, there have been at least 50 lawsuits that have been filed in civil court on behalf of those who attended Astroworld as of Wednesday evening. Also, I want to point out that the Houston Fire Department, they had no command. So a medical staffing team was hired for the event, makeshift hospital. Houston Fire Department didn't get involved when things went for the worst. The fire department chief
hey
to do a walkthrough. Start of the performances, they were denied. They were not allowed to do a walkthrough. And then the fire department even pointed out that medical working were relying on self-community. Is so it's just carelessness. Like, you guys are relying on cell phone service. That's not professional. This is a matter of, when it comes to like this type of communication, it's a matter of seconds. And I think that as the third party was hired to be the medical team for the event, y'all got to do better. Come on.
I was running up and down the stairs at that second, but did you mention what they were told to call the non-living bodies anymore?
I didn't even get into that.
Oh, well, we have a little bit of time. So the staff was actually informed not to say anything about any fatalities if there were, and they were actually told to call as a code word. If somebody passed away or was injured badly, they were told to call them a Smurf. So even if Travis on stage wanted to address the fact that people were being badly hurt and even killed at his concert, I believe he was under contract with that security company to not mention any fatalities or deaths as a result of that. So as bad as he probably or may have wanted to, I just feel like that specific security company needs to be in the red seat right now. We have questions and they have answers, and we need those answers. I need to know why the Houston Police Department said that somebody was going around sticking the security guards in the neck with syringes, and then they came out and said that was untrue.
You bring up a good point. So yes, the police chief did clarify previous reports that there was no evidence that a security guard at the festival had received a drug-laced injection, but instead was struck in the head and knocked unconscious.
But can we even believe that? You got to think, this is the same security company that said to call people that lost their lives. These were actual concert goers. These are actual people. And you were told to call them blue. And what's so crazy is that, and what's so offensive about that is the fact that when people are losing and needing air, they turn blue. When people pass away, that's one of the first things that starts to happen as the oxygen leaves their body, is that they start to turn blue. So it's just very odd to me that they would even have that. Don't call them, don't say that they're dead. Just call them Smurfs. That's sickening. Who would think of things like that? And so that also lets me know that y'all knew people were going to die. Y'all knew blood would be spilled at this concert. And that leads me to so many other questions. But like I said, we need to be watching that security company for sure. They're sketchy. And I wouldn't be surprised if anybody else, that's a celebrity, stops using them as a security company. I think that would be, it's not necessarily Travis that needs to be canceled, but definitely that security company. I feel like they could have done so much more, on ground. They were on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Their feet were on the soil. There was things that they could have done. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting the show to stop a lot faster than the 45 minutes that it took. Oh, and some of the videos are just absolutely cringeworthy, that the people are being crushed. And there's people in the videos that say, hey, get off me. And he's like, I can't. I'm sorry. Imagine that. I can't. Oh, my gosh. The videos give me claustrophobia. It's ridiculous.
I think it's even so much deeper. I think this just opens our eyes even more to what's next, what's
right.
The future. There's so many people that after that night, or even people that are watching coverage in these videos online, is it even safe to go to a concert anymore? Is it safe to go?
Exactly.
What's going to happen? What's going to change so that these issues, or if these tragedies happen again, what's going to be different? Who is going to step up to the plate? Who is going to take accountability? The police chief is saying that the ultimate authority to end the show is up to the production and the entertainer. But I don't know what to believe. Who's responsible? I think I do want to keep in mind that as a performer and as somebody that has been on stage before in front of audiences, it is a different view. So, but the fact that you had those two individuals, jump up on the camera where the camera was and the cameraman, and somebody knew. And he, in a sense, encourages it.
Yes, I have actually heard horror stories of Travis getting his fans to do just outlandish things. And I heard that he told a guy to jump off of a balcony because it would be funny. And then the guy actually did it and broke his legs and became paralyzed.
Even I think I saw a picture where the stage design, it said there was a message on it and it said, see you on the other side or something. So many different reports, so many different claims, and a lot of myths to depict and see what is actually factual.
I feel just for that reason alone, it could almost be considered premeditated. To see you on the other side, I really feel like that is a clear-cut sign of you knowing that you had intentions, you had desires almost to watch people suffer and go through this tragedy that has left people scarred mentally, physically, emotionally. I just think it's completely, it's just, people need to sit down and reap these repercussions and these consequences, because, blood was spilled, like we said earlier. And the fact that nobody wants to own up to it, nobody wants to, Drake was sincere. I do also agree with you, but I just feel like, especially with Travis Scott and Kylie, what was the purpose of, she was actually there. And she's pregnant, and they had Stormy out there. Like, what was the point?
Ignorance.
The blatant ignorance. It was scary to see that. Like, you have your whole, family out there with you, and you're like glitching on stage while people are screaming for help at your feet.
It's hard for me to even gather my thoughts on this. Just for legal purposes, as always, we do want to state that Travis Scott's representatives at this time are disputing the characterizations by city officials of his responsibility. I just want to make that clear that we're covering all these topics. Elisha and I will dive in and share our opinions because, hey, that's what this platform is all about. And we encourage everybody to have an open conversation about all of the topics that we discuss here on the show. But just for legality purposes, I just had to put that out there to cover our bases as we're just starting into this. But yeah, once again, our thoughts, prayers, positive vibes. Hopefully we get some more answers within the next couple of days. I know they said that it's going to take some time. But at the end of the day, it's negligence, it's ignorance. And I think you and I can both agree on that something needs to be different. Something needs to be changed. Another senseless tragedy that no matter how hard it's not going to make sense.
It's not going to make sense. And before we know it, it's so unfortunate that before we know it, we will look up and it will be the 5-year anniversary. And nobody, I can just see it now. Nobody is going to pay for this. Like, you can give everybody their money back, but at the end of the day, what does that solve? You pay for the funeral. What does that solve? That's almost like, it's almost like a slap in the face, because it's like, some people have to spend a lot of time, saving up for funerals and, death expenses and that such. And for you to just be like, here, I killed your kid. Here's the money for it, though. It should be okay, right? I paid for it. It's okay, right? I almost feel like he's, I just feel like there's so much more that can be done. What about counseling for the families? What about counseling for I believe that there was a phone number for a therapy session over the phone. And then when people actually called it pertaining to Travis Scott's Astroworld incident, they called the number and it was a false number. It was a wrong number. So they couldn't even seek counsel or therapy via phone. And that was provided on his page, on his Twitter platform, I believe. So it's just like, where do you really, when we look up and it's 5 years later and we still want answers and we still are left with questions, we're just supposed to be okay with a small payout. That's it. We're never going to hear anything else about this. I guarantee it. I'll watch this with both of my eyes. I promise you, I'll be on it every second of the day. I promise you nothing else will unfold. Nobody is going to sit down and do jail time, prison time. And it's just sad. That security company will probably go on to do shows and events for all kinds of other artists. And it's just, I have questions.
And unfortunately, I think it's unfortunate that a lot of those questions, especially from the families, or those families that are seeking justice, unfortunate that the world that we live in, it tends to go unnoticed. It tends to get a slap on the wrist. Hey, here's some petty change, and carry on with my life. It really breaks my heart. Even being somebody that wasn't there, I attend concerts frequently. I like a good drink and some dance. And it's just sad that it's beyond tragic that these individuals won't be able to see and reach their dreams.
We hate to end things on such a dreary note, but that is the reality of the world that we currently live in, and that is the news that we are going to continue to give you all. It will be real, it will be uncut, and it will be the truth. So we hate to leave you on a sad and dreary note, but it is what it is. Let us know how you feel down below, whether you're watching live or you watch at another time. We will be back. Tonight we had a technical difficulty and we had a late start. So we do apologize, especially on my behalf, because it was my fault. Definitely do apologize to all the viewers for that. I had to step off camera quite a few times tonight. Things didn't quite go as planned. This is something that Tyler and I have been trying to put together for most of the beginning of this, since the beginning of this year. And just to have this opportunity, it means so much to me. I feel like such garbo. Oh my gosh. I feel like such garbage that I had to walk off the screen a couple times. That makes me feel really sad because I know that you have such high hopes for this show. I know that you have such high expectations, and I hold myself to those standards and expectations. So as we continue to progress and we continue to work together, I do feel like our bond will grow even stronger, and we will be able to execute this show the way that it definitely needs to be executed. Our logos are getting ready to surface. And it's nerve wracking because you'll show me like little pieces of it, and I'm like, I'm just so ready for it to be done. Just put it all together. So we're excited about that. Actually, when we get off of live before the night ends, I actually want to talk to you about theme music too.
Yes, yes. We need to get us like a little intro, like an opener.
Yeah.
Also, we're gonna be expanding our coverage as well. So it's not just gonna be an Instagram thing. Like I said, we have a lot of different things in the works. Starting off small but growing rapidly.
Rapidly.
I just want to thank you so much for joining me. In regards to the technical difficulties, it's you know it's a learning game for both of us. And I'm excited to be right back here next week. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend, regardless if you're turning up tonight, if you're spending it with your boo thing, if you're going out, Sweetwater's, hey, I want something.
Hey.
My stomach is over here like, feed me. We're going to go out and hit the town, masked up, of course, but
Yes.
I'm going to go get some dance moves. Like, I can't dance, but... So I just want to say thank you so much. It's been, like you said, sometimes we'll give you guys some strong hitting stories. Sometimes it'll be cute and fluff. But I just appreciate everybody for tuning in and joining us on this journey. It's only going to get better and better each week. So I encourage everybody to watch our past episode, hit their like button, subscribe on YouTube, and just stay tuned. We got some things planned, and I'm really excited to have you along my side. And I hope you have a great weekend. I hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll be back here Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have to say Eastern Standard Time because now we got viewers all over.
I know, right? Isn't that amazing?
So excited.
We're doing it.
Close us out if you have any last words.
Just that I noticed that we had a larger consistency on viewers to this time, so that was like really, I think almost a couple times I had to step out just to get a fresh, a breath of fresh air, just to say, oh my gosh, we had consistent viewers. That was a really good feeling. I'm just really in awe, still just enjoying every moment of being on live with you and really getting to know the ins and outs, and just thinking of all the possibilities that this could blossom into. Like, my mind immediately goes to like, what if we rented a space and got studio equipment, and we had all these laptops and cameras set up, and we're streaming on Twitch and Twitter and TikTok and Facebook, and it's just a possibility that could become so real. And just to know that we started at a contest for a co-host on a radio station that neither one of us got. It's just amazing that out of all of that, we're still here standing.
We're still here.
We're still the winners.
Who hosts that morning show? But yes. I apologize in advance if I ever offend anybody. But I'm gonna be real.
Seriously, no, that was a traumatic incident. I feel like for both of us, you starting first, your audition video was in front of the radio station. So it's like, it doesn't really get much more personal than that. It was a very personal, feeling for both of us that left both of us feeling very robbed at the end. So I'm just glad.
Not even just us.
Oh, no, there was like almost 300 submission videos, weren't there? Yeah, it was quite an experience. But after all of that, I'm just glad that we were able to partner up and, meet each other. I just feel like that this is just the beginning, and there's still so much more. I don't even want to get off now. We're just freestyling it here. We've gone 10 minutes over our time. I know that you and your boo thing are going to go on out and have a good time. So I'm going to let you guys get on with that. And, thanks for tuning in. I think that at the end of the show, we should emphasize that this is Ty's Take Today. So I just want to say thanks for tuning in with Ty's Take Today.
Much love, much love. Thank you so much once again. And as always, those technical difficulties are just going to be some challenges and things that we progress through and continue to build and be successful. So stay tuned. I'm going to wrap it up because I got some chicken wings, a nice little cocktail to enjoy. Tell the kids I said hello, and shout out to our little co-host in the background at Points for today. We got to get together. I think we need to spend a day just kind of shooting some promo photos and videos so we can have some stock images and stuff. And you got to get me on this TikTok thing. But
Yes,
we're gonna
absolutely.
be expanding. There's going to be new things. We've got some announcements coming up in January, so just sit tight. Logo on the way, and everybody, please stay safe. If you're not vaxxed, be masked, and
At least.
we'll see you guys back here on Friday. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you so much.